with your hosts, Neil Rooney, Hal Bowles, on weather, Landon Woodards, with your weekend entertainment report, Bo Tersey, Devin O'Barr from the field, sports anchor, Marcus Grosnick. Join us from the Lombard Studios for WICB News. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Neil Rooney.
And I'm Hal Bowles. Now we're going to go live to the field with reporter Alex Oglesby at Lombard Fire Department. Alex?
With the coming election for village board and president, Lombard is preparing for other changes as well. In addition to other points, the village is considering privatizing the EMS and fire services. Currently, both fire and EMS services are funded by the village, but if privatized, could go to low-bid companies. But what does this mean for Lombard? Privatizing the fire department could alleviate an enormous budgetary constraint for Lombard, but it also means that the low-bid contract would mean that they aren't obligated to hire village workers. Candidates are debating this and other issues as the election draws near. For ICB News, I'm Alex Oglesby.
Voters are heading to the polls today to pick the likely successor to disgraced former U.S. Representative Jesse Jackson Jr. in a congressional district covering the South Side and South Suburbs. Democrats who are in the running include former State Representative Robin Kelly, former U.S. Representative Debbie Halverson, and Chicago 9th Ward Alderman Anthony Beal. The voting follows weeks of candidate forums, an accelerated campaign schedule, and numerous TV ads.
Democratic Speaker of the House Michael Madigan will be holding a debate Tuesday to help gauge how House members feel about a concealed carry law in Illinois. Topics to be debated: allowing weapons in churches, daycare centers, casinos, and on public transit, sporting venues, and exceptions to those proposed rules. Madigan spokesperson Steve Brown said the goal of these sessions is to give lawmakers the chance to speak, vote on numerous gun issues.
An unidentified resident of an Addison apartment building died early this morning in a fire that occurred at the 20-unit complex. Addison firefighters were dispatched to the 600 block of Lincoln Avenue around 12:45 this morning. Upon entering the building, firefighters encountered light smoke in the hallway. The blaze was contained to a single unit and was extinguished within 10 minutes from a combined response of the Bloomingdale, Lombard, Elmhurst, and Addison fire departments. The damage is estimated at around $20,000. Officials do not suspect any foul play, and the investigation is ongoing.
2 veteran firefighters were hurt on the south side this morning when a porch collapsed at an extra alarm fire in Gresham, sending them through the floor in the basement, trapping both the firefighters, who then called out for a mayday. The firefighters were finally freed and taken to Little Company of Mary Hospital. Both firefighters received minor injuries and are doing fine. The reason for the fire is still under investigation.
41-year-old Jason Logsdon of Evanston is being indicted on 5 accounts of felony armed robbery of several hair salons. The alleged robberies took place in Morton Grove, Niles, and Skokie townships. Between the 11 robberies that took place, there were no victims. Logsdon is reported to have entered the salon and placed a BB gun on the counter before asking for money, a pattern that helped police catch him.
That's obviously something that helps us because we can get a clue from this one and a clue from that one and put them together and hopefully make the case.
It is reported that his drug habit was the primary motivation for the crimes. His arraignment is scheduled for March 8th, until which time Logsdon will be held without bail.
Tinley Park police are searching for a suspect who robbed a First Midwest bank located at 167th Street and 80th Avenue. The robbery happened around 10:15 a.m. Tuesday. The robber is described to be about 6 feet tall, between 45 to 50 years old. He was wearing clothing described to be a gray hoodie and a dark pair of pants. As of right now, there is no further description of the robber.
A Chicago man is being charged with fatally shooting his friend in the parking lot of a West Side liquor store early Sunday, according to Chicago police. 36-year-old Gabrielle Guardiola was charged with first-degree murder for the shooting of Ricardo Rivera in the 100 block of South Cicero Avenue. Guardiola is expected to appear in Cook County Bond Court later today.
3 Schaumburg police officers are being charged with criminal drug conspiracy. The 3 officers are accused to have used false search warrants to seize an undisclosed amount of cocaine and marijuana after officers Chi, O'Brien, and Hudak were arrested. Searches on their lockers and homes were conducted, producing the illegal drugs and warrants. The 3 officers have been indefinitely removed from service. DuPage County State's attorneys had this to say about their crimes.
After the officers were arrested yesterday in Schaumburg, the police and DEA executed search warrants on the Schaumburg Police Department, on these 3 officers' storage lockers, and also in the homes where they live. All of our evidence has led us to believe that these were the only 3 police officers from Schaumburg who were involved in this drug trafficking.
Also implicated is Nicole Brim, a girlfriend of one of the officers, whose house was being used to stash the loot. Attorneys for the officers are fighting the charges, stating that national undercover drug transactions are part of their job. We'll be right back after these quick messages on the WICB News Network.
Hey.
Hey. Dad, what are you doing?
What am I?
A burrito?
No.
A larva?
A larva? No. I'm a joint.
Actually, you're a little too fat to be a joint.
So you know about joints?
There's no wrong way to talk to your kids about drugs, but you'll need to be ready. We can help. Visit our website at drugfree.org.
Drunk driving doesn't just kill drunk drivers. Next time your friend insists on driving drunk, do whatever it takes to stop him.
Here's one time it doesn't matter who your neighbor is. Here's the other. Life's too short. Stop the hate.
Today in St. Peter's Square in Rome, thousands upon thousands of faithful Catholics came to witness the final public appearance of Pope Benedict XVI. He's the first pope in over 600 years to step aside before the usual route of past popes, with their terms ending in their deaths.
My affection for and my admiration for Pope Benedict XVI has skyrocketed. It was already high, but I love him so much. As a brother bishop, as the Bishop of Rome, who appointed me to the Archdiocese of New York, to you all, to the Holy Father who made me a cardinal. And I just always admired him as a scholar, as a priest, as a holy man.
Cardinals from all around the world are heading to Rome in the coming weeks to help select the next Holy Father. And of course, when we see the white smoke from the tower, we will have a new pope.
Cardinals Francis George was preparing to head to Rome to help for the selection of the new pope, who should have insight about how the Vatican operates and the ability to lead the global church. The Cardinals will meet on Friday to begin preparing the selection process. Soon afterward, the world will have the new pope.
A man and a woman may represent humanity on one journey that has never been attempted before in space travel. They'll be traveling to Mars to fly by the red planet. The mission would lift off in 2018. It would not involve landing on Mars, making the proposed journey infinitely easier than putting people on the planet's surface, which NASA wants to do later this century. McCollum and millionaire Dennis Tito are set to announce plans Wednesday to send a couple of Earthlings on a 501-day trip in a spacecraft that would fly by the red planet. The proposal is to be unveiled at the National Press Club in Washington.
Underage sex trafficking in America is an ongoing problem. Most underage girls find themselves in a path of prostitution across the country. They are put out there on the street working for a pimp, stuck in a life that could cost them theirs. Upper middle class and college-bound girls from all walks of life have their plans derailed, but they are mostly looking for a way out of this life without risking their own. The pimps talked about trips they take together as a couple, about marriage, maybe kids.
I mean, that's something that I really want people to pay attention to, is that it's the people that we respect in our society, which is what makes it really hard even to get out of it, is that You know, it's the lawyers, the doctors, social workers, psychologists, police, priests. Yeah, it's, I mean, it's not the people that you think that it is.
They are sent out on the streets to work for those same men. More women are being brought into this underground world because of social media connections like Facebook.
Coastal Carolina University in South Carolina is under lockdown as police search for the person who shot and killed 19-year-old student Anthony Darnell Liddell in one of the campus dorms. The unknown male shooter left in a vehicle and police are still looking for him. Officials at the school still plan to hold classes tomorrow and counselors will be on hand.
The Coast Guard is suspending its search for a 29-foot distressed sailboat on Tuesday, saying the incident is possibly a hoax. The mission has cost several thousands of dollars since they got the call on Sunday, said Commander Don Montero. Authorities have been searching for the San Francisco waters for the couple, the child and the child of a relative who is supposedly younger than 8 years old. The Coast Guard will now start looking into the incident as a possible hoax.
Apple stores announced a new initiative to copyright their store design. The electronics giant is already well known for fiercely defending and protecting its design and patents of devices. It has announced news of many copycat stores popping up overseas. Apple executives cite that the design of the store, as well as employee uniforms and the general essence of Apple, have been copied so well that employees of the knockoff stores actually thought they were working for Apple. Plans to prosecute foreign knockoff Apple stores are also being discussed and will be implemented after design copyrights are obtained.
Police are looking for a woman they believe to be a person of interest in a fatal shooting that occurred on a Las Vegas strip that left 3 people dead. 22-year-old Demetra Bazigos, a.k.a. Genesis Alfonso, is not considered to be a suspect at this time, but is she believed to be the girlfriend of suspect Jason Zenner, who is still at large and should be considered armed and extremely dangerous.
A man suspected of killing 2 California police detectives has been fatally shot. Gunman Jeremy Goulet was approached by Detective Sergeants Lauren Baker and Elizabeth Butler during an investigation. According to the Santa Cruz Police Department, Goulet fled the scene before backup arrived. The police later found him and he was shot and killed in the gunfight that ensued. The investigation is ongoing. When we come back, we'll have weather, entertainment, and sports for you here on the WICB News Network.
Janine woke up in a cold sweat with one thing echoing through her brain. Who was this guy in her bathroom?
Meanwhile, Barry was thinking, whose bathroom am I in?
Janine remembered going to the party the night before and getting smashed out of her mind.
Barry remembered getting drunk and acting really stupid.
Eventually,
the whole evening came back.
Oh, I must be really stupid.
I must be really dumb.
What did I do? How did I get myself into this?
Well, what did I do? How did I get myself into this?
What about...
What about
AIDS? Then they both realized, much to their relief, that unlike the rest of us...
They were just cartoons.
Get high.
Get stupid.
Get AIDS.
You're so lost. No, I am not, man. Dude, I dropped my phone. Oh, the road! Whoa! Okay.
How would you like to save your life from an ugly, reckless driving death? Don't answer yet. There's more. Act now by slowing down, and we'll guarantee you complete satisfaction.
That's awesome!
In the real world, there is no spokesperson to prevent reckless driving. There's only you. Speak up.
Whoa, Andy, slow down.
Good afternoon. I'm Landon Wooders with your weekend weather forecast. Starting with today, Thursday, sunny with clouds, a high of 30 degrees and a low of 24 degrees. Some passing snow flurries, gusty north winds from 15 to 25 miles per hour, with highs about 8 degrees below normal. Friday is going to be cloudy with the expected high to reach 32 degrees and a low of 23 degrees. March opens quite blustery and chilly with gusty north winds from 12 to 22 miles per hour. Some lake effect snow flurries and snow showers are possible in lakeside counties. Saturday, another chilly day in store as highs peak just below freezing. A high of 31 degrees with a low of 15 degrees. Sunshine inland, but cloudy and breezy with some snow flurries near Lake Michigan. North-northwest winds from 10 to 20 miles per hour. Rounding out the weekend weather forecast with Sunday, the chill lingers with another day of sub-freezing high of 31 degrees with a low of 17 degrees. A bit more sun with light winds. Now taking a look at the 5-day forecast, starting the work week off on Monday with increasing cloudiness and not as cold, and high climb to the mid-30s and a low of 17 degrees. Tuesday, snow and snow showers are possible, high of 34 degrees and a low of 25 degrees. Blustery and cold continues as the winds shift into the northwest from 12 to 22 miles per hour. Wednesday, another cold day is in store with a high of 32 degrees and a low of 23 degrees. Thursday, cold with a high of 32 degrees and a low of 20. Friday, cloudy with a high of 33 degrees and a low of 20 degrees. So keep the winter scarves and the coats out as the winter cold continues. This weekend, I will be participating in the Cancer Walk for Charity event, walking 3 days, a total of 60 miles, to raise funds for cancer research. Hope you guys will come on out and join me. Wrapping up Landon's Landscape for the weekend, I am Landon Woodards. Now I'm going to send it over to Bo Terzi with the entertainment report.
Thank you, Landon. How to Live with Your Parents for the Rest of Your Life will premiere April 3rd on ABC, starring Brad Garrett, Elizabeth Perkins, and Sarah Chalk, a.k.a. the brother from That Raymond Show, the overbearing alcoholic mom from the show Weeds, and that hot blonde doctor from Scrubs. Chalk plays Polly, who has now been divorced for a year and now has to live with her parents for the rest of her life, and things seem to get pretty interesting. Polly is too uptight with her daughter while her parents are a little too laid back. Now, parents, please take my advice. Don't let your children watch this show. They'll never, ever leave. I'm still in shock that ABC was able to capture my life in only 30 minutes on a Wednesday night. Kim K once again tries to attempt acting in the new Tyler Perry film Confessions of a Marriage Counselor. So, Kim Kardashian in a Tyler Perry movie? What, was Halle Berry not available? Give the girl a sex tape and she thinks she can act. Have you seen her face? It doesn't even move. But then again, this is a perfect fit for her since she is still technically married, but yet having someone else's baby. Way to go, Kim. If you want to see this failure of a movie, it comes out March 29th. Sandra Bullock, alongside Melissa McCarthy, stars in the new film The Heat, which premieres April 5th. Check it out here.
Sir, I don't understand. I've closed more cases than any agent here.
You are a solid agent, but you're not a team player. None of the other agents like you.
Wait for my 3 count. 1, 2. Unbelievable.
We got a situation in Boston. I'm sending you up.
FBI, we recently got intel that you brought in a dealer, Terrell Rojas.
Hey, look who's here!
Detective Mullins isn't back from lunch yet.
I'm sure he won't mind.
Well, he's a she.
Oh, it's on! She's crazy!
Young bad girls get with I'm Special Agent Sarah Ashburn. Are you about to be interrogated by an officer?
I am an officer, and that's my perp.
Could you just close the door on the way out?
I'll shut the door on you. Will you lay down here, put your head in the door, and I'll slam it about 157,000 times.
Oh, girl, you better run.
I'm gonna make you bend over, and I'm gonna reach up into your pocket and get the keys to your house. And then I'm gonna drive there and stab you with your own badge. That's what I'm gonna do. Let's loosen that up. Surprise! Come on, man! Get out, bull in China shop!
What part of out do you not understand?
You want to go out?
We'll take you out. Ah! I can't hold you.
All right, let's pull him up. Come on.
No, wait, I'm not getting anywhere, really. I can't lift him up.
He's all right? The metal car broke his fall?
The format of this movie is one that we've all seen in every other cop movie. Two partners get assigned to each other. Off the bat, they hate each other, but soon form a friendship and decide to work together. I saw this in the last cop movie, 21 Jump Street. It's so overdone.
You are killing us out there. You don't fit in.
I am a federal agent.
What are those?
They're Spanx. They're Spanx. They just hold everything together.
Why? What's gonna come popping out?
The name of this movie actually doesn't even make sense to me. It should actually be called Miss Congeniality 3 since Bullock plays an FBI agent once again. But now she can give McCartney the makeover she's in dire need for. And now, Olympus Has Fallen stars Gerard Butler, Morgan Freeman, along with Angela Bassett. The movie is about a basket case who sets out to prove himself to his boss, a man who was once president but I guess was fired, and a very masculine woman who just needs to cut someone. This is just like every other Gerard Butler movie that I have seen. I don't know what's worse, Butler chasing terrorists or chasing Jennifer Aniston in a blue caddy.
As a nation, we are never stronger than when tested. Our government will remain united and strong.
Let's just have Lawrence Fishburne replace Butler. Watch him make just the crap out of some guys. But then again, with that kind of movie, with that kind of cast, it might as well be a Tyler Perry movie titled Tina Has Fallen. That I would see. Coming up, we'll have Marcus with sports here on WICB News Network.
My hero? Isaiah Thomas. Kevin Costner. Mr. Wall.
These are teachers, but to the kids they've reached, they're heroes.
My hero? Mrs. Wooten. If I don't get through to that child, who knows, maybe no one else will.
Teachers have the power to wake up young minds, to be heroes, to make a difference. Reach for that power. Teach. Find out how by calling 1-800-45-TEACH. Be a teacher. Be a hero.
Killed him. Oh, man.
Compound A, 46.7% by weight. Compound B.
Once you post your image online, you can't take it back. Anyone can see it. Family, friends, anyone. Remember, think before you post.
I'm here to tell you that reckless driving is the #1 cause of teenage deaths. But with new and improved Slow Down, you don't have to die.
We should slow down.
There is no spokesperson to prevent reckless driving. Speak up.
Kim, pay attention.
Spring training baseball is underway in Arizona. Good afternoon, I'm Marcus Grosnick. The White Sox and Cubs have begun their spring training play, but the big rumor going around is if Alfonso Soriano could go to the Yankees to replace the injured Curtis Granderson. With Curtis Granderson out about 10 weeks with a broken forearm, the Yankees are looking for replacements. Rumors have been flying around that Soriano could be that solution, however it does seem out of the question. Soriano still has 2 years remaining on his contract worth about $38 million, and it would not make sense for the Yankees to take that contract for a 1-month replacement. The Cubs are looking to improve on a dismal 2012. Chicago needs a big year out of their starting rotation, specifically out of right-hander Matt Garza, who is the clear #1. Another young star that needs to have a good season is Anthony Rizzo, who had a strong rookie year. The White Sox look to have another great season under second-year skipper Robin Ventura. The Sox no longer have catcher A.J. Pierzynski, which means young Tyler Flowers will command the pitching staff. If you think things are heating up in Arizona, you do not have to look much further than the Chicago Blackhawks, who have stretched their streak to 19 games with an overall record of 16-0-3 with 35 points. Last night, the Blackhawks took on the Edmonton Oilers. Last season, the Oilers beat Chicago 3 out of 4 meetings. The Hawks were down early 2-1 until Victor Stahlberg got his 5th goal of the season to tie the game at 2. But in overtime, it was the big stars that came out to play. Patrick Sharp is going to get the puck to the net, but Marian Hossa is going to pick up the garbage to give the Hawks their 17th win of the season. We send it now live to Devin O'Barr, who is at Johnny's Ice House with Coach Q's thoughts.
Thriller Tuesday night, Marcus. This young Edmonton Oilers team
came in and gave the Blackhawks a run for their money. The Oilers were up 2-1 heading into that crucial third period. That's only happened to the Hawks 3 times throughout this 19-game winning streak. Might be a different story on Thursday night when the Hawks trek to St. Louis to take on an experienced St. Louis Blues team. Joe Quenneville has some history with that club. He had this to say when I caught up with him at practice.
Well, I've been there a long time. It's a great building, and they get riled up when Chicago comes to town. So it's going to be the rivalry still in place. I'm sure they're excited about playing us. So we got a very dangerous opponent in that regard, and so I just think it's we want to make sure that we have a lot of respect for what they're capable of. They've been a very good home team over the last few years.
Another day of Blackhawks practice is in the books as they're going to look to improve upon that streak. We'll go back to Marcus in the studio. Devin Abar reporting for ICB News.
Trade Center to take on their division rivals St. Louis Blues. The Chicago Wolves could be without an NHL franchise for the second time in 3 years. The chain of events leading up to this possible Vancouver departure is that Calgary will be moving their AHL team from Abbotsford to Utica next season. This means that Abbotsford would be a good choice for Vancouver, leaving the Wolves without a parent team. However, Vancouver still can re-sign with Chicago, but neither side is saying much on the matter. Last night, the Chicago Bulls welcomed in the Cleveland Cavaliers to the United Center. Carlos Boozer got it going early for the Bulls, getting this feed along the baseline, holding it down with the two-handed jam. Although Dion Waiters picked up the slack for the Cavs, getting the easy lay-in through the lane and then knocking down this big three-pointer. Cavs were up late in this game before Nate Robinson feeds Joakim Noah for the two-handed alley-oop, but it was too much as Luke Walton finishes them off, giving the Cavaliers a 111-98 victory, snapping their 11-game losing streak. On Sunday, the PGA Tour finished up their Western swing with the WGC Accenture Match Play Championship. 64 of the world's best golfers, including world number 1 Rory McIlroy and Tiger Woods, met at the golf club at Dove Mountain in Marana, Arizona. The week began with, if you can believe it, snow, 4 inches to be exact, and ended with windy and sunny conditions. In the end, it was last year's Players Champion Matt Kuchar defeating defending champion Hunter Mahan. The 2013 NFL Combine is coming to a close, and Chicago Bears new head coach Mark Trestman is wrapping up his first Combine as a head coach. With the Bears operating this season under a completely new staff, General Manager Phil Emery is making sure that the coaches are clear as to what they're looking for and to keep quiet.
Well, I want them to know about the process. I think that's important that they understand the process that we go through. There's going to be certain information, Mark, that we're not going to divulge because it is a very competitive business. I think it's the most competitive business in the world.
With the 20th pick in the draft, the Bears won't be able to keep their pick a secret very long. The Bears are rumored to take Alabama offensive tackle DJ Fluker. Fluker would be a great fit for the Bears offensive line that gave up 44 sacks last season. The Bears are also looking at the SEC for a possible replacement for free agent linebacker Brian Urlacher. LSU's Kevin Minter could be that guy in the second round. Minter led the Tigers with 101 tackles and earned the SEC Defensive Player of the Week award twice last season. The worm has landed in North Korea. Former Chicago Bulls star Dennis Rodman has brought his wild hair, nose rings, tattoos, and flamboyant clothes to Korea. Rodman is joining members of the Harlem Globetrotters for a Vice Media production to air on HBO in early April. Rodman said that he will participate in, quote, basketball diplomacy by running a basketball camp for children, playing pickup games with locals, and by competing alongside top athletes of North Korea. After the break, Neil and Hal will be back to wrap up today's news.
For the last 40 years, the Treehouse Animal Foundation has provided Chicago with its only cageless no-kill shelter. Through the Treehouse, stray cats and kittens are given first-rate medical attention, and they also provide a low-cost spay and neuter program for all, and a free food program for people who might be having a hard time making ends meet. If you want to help a truly noble nonprofit organization further its worthy cause, the Treehouse Animal Foundation humbly asks you and yours to have a heart for animals.
Finally, nearly $152,000 has been donated online to help Billy Ray Harris, a homeless man in Kansas City who returned an engagement ring to the woman who accidentally left it in a cup he was using to collect change. Last Friday, Sarah Darling unzipped her wallet and dumped her change into Harris's cup. She'd forgotten that earlier in the day she had taken off her diamond engagement ring and put it in her coin purse. As for why Harris didn't pawn the ring when he had the chance, he said, "My grandfather was a reverend. He raised me from the time I was 6 months old, and thank the good Lord, I still do have some character."
That's inspirational. And for Neil and Neil Rooney, and for the WICB News team and crew, I'm Hal Bowles. Goodbye and good day, everybody. It's about as good as